That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to MOTN Reviews, that is Masters of the Nerdiverse Reviews, where we take a look at some of cinema's cinematic supernovas, some of the best films the Nerdiverse has to offer, and some that are not so brightly lit. You can always find this comic relief of a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Google Play. And if you're listening to us from the future, hopefully you're listening through Spotify as well, if the elder gods deem it worthy. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G, and I am beyond ecstatic to welcome back Beer Business Bureau's own Darren.
What's up, guys?
He has returned.
Yeah, I've been a little mysterious lately.
That's okay, man. You're off having your own side guiding. You know what I mean? You know.
Well, guiding means side story.
That's what I'm saying, right? I know what I say because I say it. Oh, jeez. I speak for a living, ladies and gentlemen. Katana means Japanese sword. Which kind of works well with what we're talking about today, huh? It's a nice little segue, and not the bike. So
it's not a bike either.
It's not a bike either. I'm so wrong tonight. You're gonna have to be the anchor, dude.
No,
I'm losing it. So
I'm just the help.
Nah, man. You're the cornerstone. You're the end pieces of the bread. Keep it all together.
That's the worst part.
No, man.
Those parts are horrible.
That's the part you like. You like toast and put in like and put in meatloafs and shit. You keep the meatloaf loafy, dog. You know? Oh man, this is going to be a good show. Let's get to what we're talking about. This is a film that came out this year to much fanfare. I think it was received pretty well. Mm-hmm. From what I've heard, I haven't heard one person not like this movie. And it's going to be I'm going to have a blast talking about it because there's some stuff to talk about in this one. This is 2018's, directed by David Leitch. And this is
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool. Chimichangas, all that crazy stuff. So, usually I like opening these with just a very basic question. What's your history with this movie, with this character?
Okay, Cable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about Cable now.
Okay. Okay. Let's go. You want to do it? You want to do it? Yep. How did you like Cable?
I think Cable was represented very well by Josh Brolin.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
He's perfect as Cable. But one of the things that I'm not too fond of, which I guess because, writing, whatever, but
right.
If you were to look at Cable in this movie, since he's never made an appearance in a movie
ever.
So this is his debut, really.
This is his debut because he never was any kind of weird side character in any of the Ratner or Singer films,
right? Which is weird. Which is
super weird.
But I mean, you got Bishop, but you don't get Cable.
I wonder what the deal was with that. Because why wouldn't they just have in Days of Futures Past? Why not have a Cable?
That was my main.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It was the weirdest thing ever. But anyway, aside from that, which was Days of Future Past was an amazing movie.
Yeah, mind you, it stands up with X2.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion, maybe even better.
Yeah, just a little bit better.
A little bit better.
But that being said, like when it first came out, Rotten Tomatoes gave it I think a 96 or 97%, super hot out the gates.
Right.
But we're not talking about that movie right now. We're talking about Deadpool. Well, actually, specifically Cable.
So
I like Josh Brolin's portrayal. Mm-hmm. I think so. For people who don't know who Cable is, he's actually his name is Nathan Summers.
Nathan Summers,
which, as you probably have guessed it already, he's actually Cyclops' son.
Yes,
from the future, and that's the main point. He comes from the future. Mm-hmm. But even if you didn't know that, you would never have known that he was an actual mutant in this movie,
right?
Because, but actually, believe it or not, he does have telekinetic and telepathic powers.
Yeah.
And they don't really show that. They just
don't
show
touch it at all.
I mean, you sort of see it a little bit when he's retrieving his weapon.
I thought that was like,
you
know what?
Yeah.
That is very clever. You said that because I just assumed it was some kind of new
magnet.
future magnet that just went towards his back. But it could have been him using his telekinesis.
That's the first thing I would think that because I know about Cable. I mean, I know about Cable more than some people do. Yeah. So, and so, I mean, and if you're also tuning in, you don't know anything about Cable. Cable was actually, he became an X-Man.
Mm-hmm. And an X-Force.
Yeah, and he started X-Force. And that's another thing. And I'm glad that it happened this way because it'd be kind of weird. But I'm kind of glad that Deadpool is the one who founded X-Force and not Cable because it would be a whole different story altogether.
It would be kind of awkward. Yeah. Right?
It would be super awkward.
If Cable, growing up, Cable was the coolest. Cable was kind of the coolest X-Men character outside of Wolverine. Right. Because he was just so badass and he had 1,000 pouches. He had all the guns. And his eyes glowed. He was this badass old grizzled war veteran from the future. Yeah. But also, like Darren was mentioning, has a power set that is actually ridiculous if you really do dollars to cents and go through his wiki. And he does so much stuff. He has telekinesis. He has telepathy. He has I think he has energy projection on some levels. Yeah. He can manipulate energy if I remember correctly as well. Right. He's he's pretty much an Omega level mutant. The only problem is, and what they kind of touched on in the film, is that he has a techno-organic virus, which causes his arm to be all metally. And at first I thought maybe it's like a cybernetic implant. Maybe they're doing that. But no. In the movie, they show the creep of the techno-organic virus, and they don't even explain it. Right. And usually the flicker in his eyes from his natural power. And his powers are all being used at the same time to keep the techno-organic virus at bay at all times. Right. Otherwise, it'll just take him over immediately. Exactly. So in a way his powers are limited because of that. He's handicapped. It's kind of like Wolverine is handicapped from the adamantium on his bones. Right. And it slows him down. And it doesn't allow his healing factor to be as effective as a Deadpool. Right. So I liked Josh Brolin. I like Thanos as Cable, as they made the joke in the film. Yeah. Like you said, I just think Cable needs more time and he needs more explanation rather than, I'm a dude from the future. Right. And it would have been far more interesting. And I don't want to go too deep into spoilers just yet because I just want to kind of give first impressions. I just think that the MacGuffin of the film was ill placed based on what probably they had access to. I can see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm dancing around it, but I think you're picking up what I'm laying down. Yeah, I understand. You know what I mean? The MacGuffin is just, that was the weakest part of the movie for me, outside of the comedy. And I was listening to another review, and the guy said, "Hey, was Deadpool 2 a good movie?" He's like, "It was okay, but it was funny as hell," and that makes it good. And I think that's one of its saving graces is that, Ryan Reynolds still kind of holds the reins. Well, that's the thing about this. So, honestly, you don't even have to see Deadpool 1. No, you don't. You don't. You really don't. It stands on its own. Yeah. And really, the comedy it's very inappropriate, but it's appropriate at the same time, and it's very modern, and it's very, very relatable. Yeah. In many ways, more than one. But that being said, it's a balancing act. It is a balancing act because the comedy is what saves it. It's also what drives it. Yeah. The actual storyline, not so much. More so in the first one. Yeah. Because the motivations in the first one were stronger than they are in this one. Because this one's more fueled by the comedy. Right. And I think the first one, did I say the first one? The second one's more fueled by the comedy. And the first one is more fueled by the balance. Right. Where it's really it's almost one of the most pure origin stories in comic book film history. Because it really boils down what his motivations are. And it humanizes the character more so in the first one than this one. Yeah. That being said, this one's almost better in every other single category. Yeah, I totally agree with that. You know what I mean? Because they're both morality tales buried under raunchy kind of comedy. And honestly, the second one's more toned down than the first one.
You mean in terms of morality, or
in terms of raunchiness?
Oh,
in
raunchiness.
Terms of,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's also because you have a lot more going on.
Yeah.
You have a lot of shit going on.
Because, there was nudity in the first one.
Yeah.
There was way more, like body gags and things like that. But this one, there's a classic body gag we'll get to. Jesus. But I just think this one was a bit safer in certain ways and a bit more boisterous in others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, and of course, like, again, you have a lot more characters in this one.
Yeah.
You know,
it's way more of a balancing act in that respect.
And in some ways, if they were to add the raunchiness, then it would be kind of like random almost.
Yeah.
Because like it's like, okay, well, we're focusing on this, but then all of a sudden I see a penis or some shit.
Right, or just somebody flashes you going out. It's almost like the nudity in Logan.
Yeah.
It felt so forced and stupid. It was like, oh, boobs. And it's like the most Requiem for a Dream, bum out movie of the century. It's like it just felt forced.
Right.
And this one, it didn't feel forced at all. Like the scenes that were a bit more on the crazier side flowed naturally with the film. The film editing is actually very good and how the film flows. I never felt bored.
Mm-hmm.
And I never felt like I was lost in what was going on, even with all the nonsense that they played with in this movie. Since we're going into characters, we talked about Cable, how we feel about Cable. How do you feel about Ryan Reynolds' second run at Deadpool?
I think he killed it more than he did in the first round.
Yeah. This is really his baby.
It truly is. And and I don't want to jump ahead. But he does the meta of the movie is also I really love a lot, and my mom loved it too. She's seen a few of the other X-Men.
My grandmother loved this movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, Nana, this may not be the best movie for you. She's like, I saw the first one. I was like, what? You're cool with that? She was like, yeah, I got through it. I was like, Nana, you don't see Deadpool too. She super saw it and liked it. So yeah,
and. In all ways, Ryan Reynolds is a goofball.
Yeah,
he's always going to be a goofball.
Yeah,
and
it just fits him, dude. Yeah. Like I can see him doing a 10-year run on Deadpool, like Logan. I mean, like Hugh Jackman did, if Disney lets him.
I mean,
he's going to do it as long as they let him.
Right.
Right. Because Deadpool,
but this was Fox, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Fox is in kind of a little turmoil between Disney and Comcast, so it depends on how that shoe falls.
Right.
Disney because Disney's like putting the kibosh on all X-Men stuff right now.
Right. Which is
Fox is because they want to stay in good terms with Disney. So which
explains the whole X-Mansion thing, where Fox was kind of pushing it with the. I don't know if there's a scene where Colossus brings Deadpool to the X-Mansion.
Yes.
After he blows him. He blows him.
Actually, let's go into the plot now. Let's go into spoilers.
Yeah.
So I think we've gotten really our good ideas, and the other characters, our feelings for them will come out once they're kind of like brought to the table.
Right.
So let's go to the beginning of this movie, and I don't remember. It has a soft opening, and then it has the actual title card hard cut.
Mm-hmm.
So the soft opening for this is. We find out Deadpool's been doing his Merc with a mouth thing for about 2 years now. So he's well comfortable in this role. And it's this montage of him just wreaking havoc across the world, right? And he's taking out Yakuza bosses. Right. He's at like honky tonk bars wearing pumps. It's just a really wacky. He's chasing this mob boss, and this kind of goes into the crux of the film. And this is a what is it called? Where a film starts in the middle. It's a French term. I can't remember.
Shit.
It's not jamais vu.
No. Oh my gosh. I actually.
Media res.
Yes.
It's a media res.
Yeah.
Where it's like this takes place 90 days or what is it, 2 days from now or something like that. And he's hunting a mob boss in like this. He has a panic room. And Deadpool is just ripping through his 70 guys in this with chainsaws. And it's just very cartoonish. It's very Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he accidentally lets the guy go. And that's the whole Mohinder thing. Or his name, is it Mohinder or is it his buddy, his taxi driver.
Yeah,
buddy.
I think Mahinder, I think is what his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we get to that point where the guy escapes and somehow follows Deadpool home. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves about this movie. It's like, why doesn't anybody follow the heroes home? You know what I mean? Like, it must be really hard to escape as Batman with cameras and shit.
Right.
Like everyone should know where Superman lives.
Yeah,
just follow the cape, you know?
Right,
like
exactly.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
How do you disappear? Right? Everyone should know where everybody lives. But that's
cloaking device.
It's a very cloaking. I like the idea that Superman just goes at hyper speed in a split second, goes like supersonic. And then just stops somewhere and just drops.
I mean, I was going to say for Superman, he doesn't. Why would he give a shit? I mean, like if you want to, you can kill everybody at anyone at any given time.
But then he has people he protects, like Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen, and people come to the Daily Planet, start in trouble. You know, he has his Superman himself will be fine unless you're like Doomsday or something. But I digress. So the guy follows Deadpool home, and Wade is having a conversation with his girlfriend about having kids. And I would think that maybe he probably couldn't. You would think, right?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
what kind of sperm with that?
I mean, technically, cancerous sperm.
Yeah, like.
Well, I mean, not really, because I mean, like his healing factor would it doesn't really correct; it just stops.
Yeah, it's keeping it at bay, and that's actually a part of this movie too.
Yeah.
So, long story short, they follow him home.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take him out, and a stray bullet kills Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big spoiler. So we're in spoilers, so big spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
And Deadpool catches the guy, and he has this weird scene where he gives him a big hug. And I'm like, okay. And then the guy just gets smacked with a giant, like, blue bus.
Funny enough, I knew exactly what was going to happen.
You saw it coming a mile away?
I saw it. Because, like... unless he was going to like jump off of a cliff or something like that, I knew that he's in the middle of the street. Like, what else would he be doing?
What are they doing? In the rain.
Yeah.
Right. And Deadpool's like, yeah, I'm kind of done. I wonder if I'm immortal.
Right.
This is his true test, and actually very comic accurate that he just can't die.
Yeah.
Outside of like de-atomization, and even then I have worries and wonders. He'll just like. The dust will come together like Majin Buu, just breathe back up here.
Right. But
Deadpool kills himself pretty much and explodes his house. And we go into this weird Celine Dion, like Goldfinger montage. The song is actually very well written.
For the hard opening, yeah.
Yeah, for the hard opening. And we kind of... And from there, is that pickup where we were just about to talk about? Where Colossus kind of collects him?
Yeah, he collects his body parts. He says he's been asleep for a few days, and he's trying to recruit Deadpool to become an X-Men.
He's giving him the soft sell
to
become an X-Men.
Right.
And Deadpool, since the first one, is like, nah, I'm not a team player.
Right.
You guys are a bunch of Boy Scouts weirdos.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in your weird coat, your beauty coat. And he's yucking it up, and he's like breaking Cerebro, and he's dipping around in Xavier's mansion. I'll let you do it because you wanted to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. And so, like, Deadpool's just like, Colossus is really trying with him. He's trying to sell him on the idea of becoming part of this happy-go-lucky brotherhood known as the X-Men.
Right.
Which is, of course, Deadpool knows is...
It's weird.
I
have my own weird thoughts about the X-Men in general, but
but Deadpool's like, look, man, fuck this, fuck you.
Why didn't you let me just be dead?
Right. It's like I wanted to see what the hell was going to happen.
Yeah,
and you just fucked it all up, basically.
Thank you.
But there's one particular scene where it is also kind of an Easter egg.
It's a big Easter egg
where Deadpool's roaming around in a fucking like a scooter.
He has a rascal
for weird reason. But anyway, he's roaming around and he says, "Hey, so where's Professor X? Is it the James McAvoy one or is it the
it's the Stewart and McAvoy? Right?
Yeah.
Why is there never anyone in this big ass house but you, me, and Negasonic Teenage Weirdo?
Yeah,
I think I know we got more money for this movie. He says it out loud. I know we got more money for this movie.
Yeah, and
then the scene happens.
Yeah. And you see Beast, you see Quicksilver, you see. Actually, I don't remember. I think it's all of the.
It was such a quick shot.
Yeah, it was a quick shot.
It was all the X-Men Apocalypse
Yeah,
kids.
right. And you see Beast slowly closing the door before Deadpool sees them.
Yes.
And I took that as, Fox, acknowledging that they have, not an embargo, but an inhibition.
Yes.
But they're still going to push it anyway, just a little tiny bit.
I love that about this series.
Yeah,
is that they thumb their nose at their own company.
right.
Nevertheless, DC are Disney. They thumb their nose at everyone in this film. And you know how that was done, right? It was actually filmed offset at the Dark Phoenix filming, because they were filming kind of at the same time.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they filmed that scene on the Dark Phoenix set, and they were just like, yeah, just take this footage and spice it into your movie.
Oh, shit, that's hilarious.
It's crazy,
That's
man.
that's even funnier than I initially thought.
Yeah, Ryan called somebody, was like, yo, James, man, can you get there just to do a quick scene? I know you guys are already in costume. Just shoot it. Just shoot it. We'll figure it out.
That elevates this movie even higher than I initially graded it. That's awesome.
I read that the other day. I was like, what? That's brilliant, dude. I love it. And it was and without it, the movie's not as good. Even for that split second moment,
right?
It's not as good, right?
Right.
So, like you said, he was recovering at the X Mansion. He's kind of dipping around, just breaking stuff, being annoying,
just being an ass.
Colossus is so patient with him. Speaking of which, I love what they're doing with Colossus.
Yeah.
I hope they never show him in human form. Keep him big, metal, ultra sick, like comic accurate Colossus.
Yeah.
And don't break the illusion that there's a dude under there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he's like, okay, you're going to be an X-Men now. So you're just an X-Man. Here's our first mission. We're going to go to this weird only God forgives mutant church. And something was very weird about that, and I thought was interesting, was they take the Blackbird to the church and make this giant appearance. And the news calls them the X-Men, which is something that is, I think, a first for the X series, is for them to be known and kind of beloved in a weird way. Yeah. Because they did with admiration. It wasn't that menace Spider-Man kind of feel. It was like, the X-Men are here. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, because in the history of X-Men, they've never been revered. They've always, that's always part of the struggle with being an X-Men. You had to fight your own kind and protect people who also hate you too.
Yeah, the X-Men were never loved.
Yeah.
Like even other hero companies didn't really. That's why the Avengers are always going at it with them, because they're just the most misunderstood, kind of like punkish, like, the reason the X-Men exists was because it was an allegory for the civil rights movement. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, these are people who are never going to be fully accepted into society because they're different. Right. And of course, this different is telepathy and eyes, ideas shooting out of your brain. So they get to the school and we meet little child MacGuffin. Fire Fists is the kid. And Deadpool has his X-Men trainee coat on, and everybody lets him know that he's indeed a trainee. And I love it. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead is there with her girlfriend. Right. What was it?
Yukio.
Yukio. Hi, Yukio.
Bye.
I love that. I love Yukio, dude. I don't even know. I think she's based off a real character. But wouldn't it just been better just to let it be Hope?
I mean,
I'm sorry. I
agree. I agree with that. No, it should have been. But you know what? Honestly,
it would have been a stronger tie to Cable.
Yes, but at the same time, Fox has its limits. I'm sure,
and that's what I mean. Like, the MacGuffin of the film is handicapped by because they've always kept Deadpool on a very short leash in regards to what he has access to, which is why you have a Negasonic Teenage Warhead. And I'm surprised they let him get Colossus. Yeah. Right? And Ajax. And they've always had these Z-list heroes and villains. And we'll go into even more of that when it comes to the X-Force. X-Force. Yeah. And this kid, man, I tried my hardest to vibe with him. I'm not a fan. The kid who plays Fire Fist. Yeah. He's just kind of hamming it. But he's a kid actor, but that's no excuse. I don't know. How do you feel about Fire Fists and his Fire Fists?
That's funny you said ham in it, but
Oh, I'm not trying to go there. I can't throw stones in that glass house.
I kind of overlooked him, honestly. Even though he was kind of the yeah, it is, but he's kind of the focus of
the whole film.
But he's the one who ties Cable to the past.
Yes, he's the one who ties
Cable to even though it's not accurate.
It's super not accurate because that's not how that goes down.
Yeah.
If it goes down at all,
right?
Because Hope is not technically, comic wise, is not technically his birth daughter.
Right.
It's a whole convoluted X-Men writing.
Yeah. And again, like I'm overlooking it. I'm overlooking all that, and also the fact that if you want to really get granular with it, the fact that he has a teddy bear instead of a baby doll. But
I get it.
Yeah.
It's fine. You don't want to have charred baby doll face hanging off one of your heroes.
Yeah.
That could be a little too dark, especially for this. Even for a movie like this. You know what I mean?
Anyway.
There's so many missed opportunities
in
this movie. Like, following this scene, Deadpool kind of stops the kid from just charring the entire place. We get a kind of, and this helped me with my X-Men lore, like a Guy Ritchie kind of character who's kind of, like Henry Guy Ritchie, who's the kind of mutant racist, like the what was the name of that weird human rights like church in X-Men history? It was in a cartoon as well. It was like Friends of Humanity or something like that. It's so blinking on me.
I can't think.
Now. But he's kind of like a guy like that. Where it's like, I love mutants, but legit, he super hates them.
So, actually, I have a question about that, because I hadn't looked at the credits. So, Essex, as you know, Essex is the name of Nathaniel Essex, which is Mr. Sinister.
Which is Mr. Sinister, which is a huge part of X-Men lore.
Right. So, my question... And also, there's another thing about that, because in Essex Corporation, they make an appearance in the very last credits of X-Men Apocalypse.
Yes.
So again, Fox is kind of pushing it.
They're pushing something that's never going to be
right,
because these movies are over.
Right.
Unless Disney takes it under their wing.
So I from my understanding, that was a very gimped looking Mr. Sinister. And that's what I was thinking at first.
I wanted to say that, but
then I looked at it, I was like, this dude's a bitch.
This dude's a bitch, and it would be a very hard sell. I would have loved if the kid killed him, and he just morphed into Mr. Sinister.
Right.
Like I said, missed opportunities. Mm-hmm. Like like you said, the building's name is Essex School of Misfit Children or whatever. The main guy looks like, because one of Mr. Sinister's powers among a billion of them is he can shapeshift pretty easy. Yeah. So he can just be anyone. He has...
Which is why I thought that's who it was.
That was the end game. Wouldn't that have been so cool?
That would have been amazing.
Even for a stinger?
Yeah.
But we'll get into the stingers of this movie. But missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. Like, they apprehend the kid, and I was like, ooh, they're going to take him to Genosha. Mm-hmm. We may see Genosha. Don't take me there. Don't take me there. The kid's like, I'd rather die than go
to the icebox.
Go to the icebox. Yeah. And I'm like, what if this is Genosha? That would be super cool. And no.
Yeah.
It's like they take him to some no-name like facility that probably has some X lore down the road somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's a missed opportunity. You know what I mean? And it would have been kind of cool to get that nod. Just a name, right? I don't even know if they're holding that for Dark Phoenix. I doubt it because I heard the script of that movie is atrocious.
Oh, but wow. Okay.
I'm hearing really salty things about it. But, we find at this point, we cut to the actual introduction of Cable, which is kind of weird. It was set up weird to me.
Yeah, so Fire Fist is grown up in the future. The future is
he's a grown man.
Yeah, the future is obviously fucked.
It's the Days of Future Past.
It's Days of Future Past storyline.
Kind of, because their apartment was still kind of nice.
Well, I mean, in the Days of Future Past storyline, not everyone was enslaved. I mean, most of the mutants were dead.
True.
with the exception of Cable,
Cable,
Professor X,
Wolverine, Kitty Pryde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a whole other story all in itself. But yeah, it shows. So Fire Fist is the one who kills Cable's family, quote unquote.
Quote unquote. Family.
And the reason why he did it, it's kind of vague.
It's I'm a bad guy.
Yeah, like,
and I found my villain. I found my hero.
I thought that was a little.
It was
weak.
never explained why Fire Fist has a vendetta with Cable at all.
Yeah, it's
outside of Cable being just some soldier.
It's
not an X-Man.
It's really kind of a lame explanation they give. They said that Cable found when he was a little boy, in this instance, when he's coming back in the future.
Yeah.
And he finds that Fire Fist kills the dude who's been torturing him for a long time from the SS Corporation.
He finds the catalyst point.
Right. He finds the catalyst where he kills the dude, and he has a taste for blood,
quote unquote.
So
he becomes a villain.
Yeah.
It's the singularity of this kid's trek towards super villainy.
Yeah.
And he's like, if I kill this kid before that happens, then there's a possibility that it will save my family's life.
Right.
And he hasn't really thought of any other option than that. Not like catching the kid when he's younger, maybe pulling him out of orphanages, or even going further back and maybe neutering his dad so he's not born in the first.
Yeah.
This is my problem with time travel. Anyway.
Yeah. Time travel time travel messes up everything.
No one does it right except Primer.
Which is why Ryan Deadpool says, "Hey, why don't you just go back and kill Hitler then?"
Exactly.
It's like why don't you stop all this shit from happening?
There's like this funny like nerd joke where it's like, you never go back to kill Hitler because it makes everything infinitely worse. And there's like this weird comic where there is a bunch of time cops who are just stationed around Hitler at all times because people keep trying to go back to kill him. And it's a secret service for Hitler that he doesn't even know is happening of time cops, because apparently if you kill Hitler back then, we're just overrun by space aliens, or everybody becomes ant people. It just gets real bad real fast. So we get to the icebox, right? And we have this weird kind of situation where they have anti-mutant power necklaces, which is a canon thing.
Yeah.
Genosha has them.
Yeah.
Why did you just call it damn Genosha? And
yeah, that's again, it's strange.
It's strange.
It's like they're dancing around it.
Right?
Not to let you know that they can't do it, but just to show you that they're trying to be a little different.
They're trying to be different, but it's like, the name drops like this make nerds lose their mind.
Yeah,
it could still be an icebox. Just say we're in the country of Genosha.
Yeah,
I would have been totally fine with that.
Yeah.
Anywho, we're starting to Deadpool and Fire Fist. I haven't dedicated this kid's name to memory because I don't care. I just don't like his character anyway.
I don't even remember his name, but okay.
Yeah, it's something weird. They're going down Murderer's Row. When you first get to prison, and Deadpool is starting to cough and get sick.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, well, my mutant power kind of keeps me from having super ultra cancer. Yeah. So the moment my mutant power stops, I'm just back at it.
Yeah.
And that's like stage 4 infinite cancer, And it's like super nuts. It's like, damn, I didn't think about that.
Right. Yeah.
And then we have the weirdest cameo in X-Men history. So I'm thinking, who's going to be the bad boy Yardie?
Black Tom Cassidy.
So
it's really random.
And Black Tom has a crazy history with X-Men. He's the brother of Banshee. It's a ton of stuff with Black Tom. He has wood powers that they just don't show.
Right.
And because of the nature of the plot device, no one shows their powers.
Right.
Because there's a bunch of crazy weirdos in there. My eyes are just darting.
Yeah.
Right, who's that?
Right.
Is that Blob? No.
Yeah.
Is that so-and-so? Is that Blink? Is that... And it's no one, right?
Right.
And that's another thing that bothers me. When you have a giant mutant puddle,
right?
You can just have Ricochet back there. Just have a gray dude with the wave cap,
right?
I'm sorry. There's too many X-Men to not have in there. So the kid's like, man, the first thing you do when you get to the yard, you got to shank the biggest motherfucker you can see. So the kid's like, yeah, man. He pulls out like a pin.
Yeah, out of his prison wallet.
Out of his prison wallet. He pulls it out of his ass, apparently. He tries to step to Black Tom, and Black Tom just punches him dead in the nose. Kid violence, which is also not very, very rarely seen. Mm-hmm. Deadpool can't do anything because he's super weak and just Might as well just have a kryptonite necklace around him.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just very, very weird scene. Like very wasted.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of wasted potential. If I had to have any criticism of this movie, there's a lot of wasted potential.
Yeah, and you know, again, like the fact that Black Tom Cassidy even made an appearance,
it's kind of
it's weird.
It's weird.
It's
kind
awkward.
of awesome and awkward.
Yeah,
right.
And it's like, and then he ends up dying.
Yeah,
in a stupid way. In a stupid fucking way.
The most senseless way possible, and then the weird cultural appropriation jokes.
Yeah, I mean that as inappropriate as those were, they were still funny as shit.
They were still funny. It made me feel bad laughing at him because it was done with such reverence. He's like, it's a shame that he feels like he needs to wear dreads to fit in. You know, they even, you know, and then it feeds into another joke, which will come later, about Cable. It's a running joke.
Yeah, that he's a big racist.
Yeah, Cable's a super big racist. Cable's like, no, I'm not.
He's like, you fucking retarded?
He was like, Cable, I just want you to look at people not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Cable's like, I don't know where any of this is coming from. I'm not racist.
But by the way, if you don't know, Black Tom Cassidy is not black.
He's super not black. He's Black Irish.
Yeah.
He's Black Irish.
Yeah.
Let's put that out there right now so people don't think, oh shit, Deadpool got super racist out of nowhere. Why you guys think it's funny? Let's just clear that up. Look up Black Tom on Wikipedia. You'll see what we're talking about. He has a weird little twindly mustache. But Cable breaks in to I just want to call it, I'm calling it Genosha. Cable breaks into Genosha and is going after the kid, mind you.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird Terminator 2 kind of vibe.
Yeah, right? I got that for sure.
And of course, this is the first time Cable's meeting Deadpool. And Deadpool's like, hey, he has a Winter Soldier arm. You know, and he's bucking it up.
Yeah.
And Cable's just ripping through the
guards,
like they're nothing because he's a super badass ultra, you know, future soldier, and he pretty much kills Wade, right?
Well, no, Wade. What happens is they were tussling, and Wade falls, and he pretty much breaks his back. Like in a 90-degree angle.
Very cartoonish, Bugs Bunny level. Like his back, his legs, it's almost like if The Raid was made by like Tex Avery.
Yeah.
You know, like his back, his lower torso and his legs are on the table, but his back is flush against the floor. And I was like, what the hell kind of break is this? That's not even right. And I let it go because I was hyped about the moment. And for some reason, the little necklace MacGuffin, the little necklace plot device comes off.
Yeah.
Or gets deactivated. And he's back to being old badass Deadpool, super strength, all that fun stuff. Yeah. And they have a pretty good fight. Yeah. You have a pretty good toe-to-toe, kind of evenly matched kind of fight. And it ends up with the kid somehow escaping through his buddy that he made, found the quote-unquote biggest guy in the yard.
Right.
And escapes off with him, right?
Right.
But Deadpool and Cable end up busting out, tumbling down this weird, like...
It's a mountain slope.
Mountainside.
Yeah.
Like an icy snow slope.
Yeah.
And he falls into like a thing of ice, which would pretty much incapacitate most fast healers.
Right.
Like Wolverine has a problem with water.
Right.
That's his biggest fear. It's like drowning.
Yeah.
But Deadpool's kind of just, he goes into this weird death state again.
Right.
It's very much used in the film. How did you feel about that weird death state that he would enter in to see Vanessa and kind of get weird?
It's weird, but I didn't think it was.
It wasn't offensive.
I thought it was interesting. That's what I thought. Because I mean, like, honestly, like,
I would have liked it more if it was just death.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I mean, like, you can't get too dark with this movie. You know what I mean?
I mean, like death, as in he has a crush on Death.
Right.
Thanos can't have Death because Death loves Deadpool. That would have been a kind of interesting little nod. But you have to have Vanessa in it so she gets her acting parts, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because there's that too. But I thought it was more of an imaginative take.
You know what? I can see that too. It's just him internalizing that,
because he's not dead
because he can't.
He's not. He's
even
not
when
dead.
he exploded, he wasn't dead.
Yeah.
He was just disembodied.
Right.
Right. So it's all in his head. It's like maybe his id kind of.
Yeah.
area.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that's if anything, that was just a window into his psyche.
Right.
So I mean, I didn't mind that too much.
It was fine.
But you're right. Like that would have been even funnier
if it was actually
if he was dancing with death.
Can you imagine it was just Kate Blanchett and it's just hella a funny little cameo?
Right.
Are you death? She's like, yeah, kinda.
You
Want to go on a date? No, go out of here. And he goes back. And he gets back to life.
Yeah.
Then he has the epiphany. I need to save this kid.
Right.
And I can't do it alone because Cable's too real.
Yeah.
And I can't take him on my own. And then we get all the TJ Miller stuff.
Yeah.
Where he's like, yeah, we got to get back on LinkedIn. We got to assemble a squadron.
Right.
And then we have one of my favorite scenes in the movie is the team gathering.
Right.
I always love that about movies.
Yeah.
Like Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
Let's get the band together, right? So they're doing all the interviews. And it's the most nerdy if you're a fan of X-Men, you just love this. Because they introduce Bedlam, which is played by
Terry Crews. Yeah.
And he has the power to do. He's like, he has this weird finger motion. He's like, I destruct electrical circuits. He said it's so weird. He was like, I destruct electrical circuits in your brain. I make you feel angry, tense. I make you feel like you want to cause bedlam. So what is Terry Crews doing, man? It was like so awkward. He was like, yeah, you're in. And then we get a street level Shatterstar. Dude.
Yeah.
And they even do his weird like origin story.
Yeah.
He's like, so where are you from? I'm from an alien planet. I don't know why I keep saying it like Terry Crews. It's like, I'm from an alien planet, Mojo World. I'm like, they mentioned Mojo World, dude. It now exists in the X universe. I'm fine with that. I love Mojo stuff with Long Shot and Spiral and all those dudes. Can you imagine those Spirals in this movie?
It won't happen.
Wasted opportunity.
It would. Well, I mean, at that point, if they really did do that, then it would be like character overload. It would be on the level of like Spider-Man.
I'm
Amazing
just
Spider-Man
sad
2.
that the X-Men never got their Infinity War. It never went cosmic.
Right.
You never got Morlocks. You never got Savage Land. You never got any of that wacky stuff.
Yeah,
that's just ripe for the picking. You know what I mean? It never went there. It's always stayed too grounded for me.
Yeah.
Because X-Men is goofy as shit. Like, at its core, X-Men is really goofy and weird. And you have like 50 different Jean Grey clones.
Right.
And Sauron, who's just a giant pterodactyl man.
Right.
But I digress. Shatterstar shows up. And he looks weird. I'm not going to lie. The hair, I didn't like the hair prosthetic. I thought it didn't look natural enough. And he had these weird... I have a pet peeve in movies, and I want you to please bear with me, Darren. It's when people are supposed to have white eyes, but they have the black iris.
Yeah.
Bugs me every time. Don't even do it. Just have it completely white. The black iris throws me off every single time. It's cheap. Stop doing it, Hollywood. Stop it. And to me, we're introduced to the breakout character of the film, Domino.
Yep.
How did you feel about Domino?
I like Domino.
I have the biggest crush on Domino. Zazie Bell, I think is her name. Oh my god.
I like her as Domino. I think again, same thing with Cable. Like, well, with her, she's a little more fleshed out. She does actually. You do sort of see
you see her do her thing.
Yeah,
her power.
You still don't. You still. I mean, it's still
you know nothing about her.
No, of course. I mean, it's still argued even among people if she's really even a mutant.
I love that. I love that about her character because it's an intangible.
Right.
It's a status effect.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's an AOE.
The official explanation for Domino is that she has a telekinetic. She has an involuntary telekinetic manipulation of statistics.
Yes.
What that basically means is that in the back of her mind, she's actually manipulating real
world things.
She has a psychosomatic manipulation of the world around her.
Yes, that's
which they call as luck.
As a luck
field. But as you know, if you live in the real world, luck is merely statistics.
Yes.
And if you can manipulate those statistics, you're
luckier.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like how people explain Black Cat's natural superpower.
Right.
She has the power. She has a very similar power.
Yeah.
But it's more towards the negative.
Right.
Good things don't happen to her. Bad things happen to you.
Right.
Whereas it's the same similar situation where it's I don't think it's ever explained that deeply for Black Cat. It's just that she manipulates events around her that causes whoever she's pointing her ire towards to get a run of bad luck.
Right.
Spider-Man's web shooters won't work. Wolverine accidentally claws, Colossus. All types of crazy stuff happens. Yeah. Black Cat is a weird one, but that and I remember people were so salty about the Domino choice when it first came out. It was such racist vitriol.
The same people that were fucking upset about Michael B. Jordan playing. Well, mind you, that movie was terrible, but yeah. It
shouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter at all.
And people were like raging against Finn holding a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Same idiots.
Yeah.
But I was sold the minute I saw it. And that she had vitiligo, which is a mutation that calls her as her classic, is an inversion. Yeah. Because Domino, in the comics, Domino is all white.
White, and she has a black.
She has a black, mole, constant, permanent thing.
Yeah.
And in this movie, she's black,
right,
but has vitiligo, so it's a white indentation.
Yeah.
It was so brilliant that I'm mad that no one else has done it yet.
Yeah.
Like Ultimate, if Ultimate Marvel was still around, that's what Domino would look like. You know what I'm saying? So I was sold all for it. And they have the argument, which everyone has, you don't have a superpower.
Right.
It's like, what's your superpower? I'm lucky. That's not a power. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It's like, let's agree to disagree and say it's not. Okay, but it is. And then whatever, you're a part of the team. We get a weird cameo from so-and-so Skarsgård as Zeitgeist.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who played it.
Right. Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard plays a character I've never heard of, which makes sense.
Actually, I think Zeitgeist actually is
he's
in
canon.
X-Force, but
he's just such win.
Yeah.
I could have felt, but it makes sense for what happens that these are such Z-list characters because I want to go into it so bad. We'll get there.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about it then. And the last one is Peter.
Right.
And I swear I have my own fan ideas about who Peter actually is. And I think Peter is actually Colossus. I think it's actually Pietro.
Yeah.
And he's keeping an eye on, because they're never in the same team at the same time.
Yeah, but Colossus was, he only made okay, so when all that was happening, Colossus was still in the X-Mansion. Was
he?
Yeah, because when they came to, after all that shit went down, and after one got killed mostly, he went to Colossus because he got
because Peter got super melted.
Yeah, he got.
I forgot about that part.
He
so
got melted by Zeitgeist. He got melted by Zeitgeist.
So he would have, if it was really Colossus, he would have just transformed and saved himself. But damn, that blows my entire idea. I forgot about that part. Let's go into that. So X-Force is combined, and there's the Vanisher. Mm-hmm. It's such a stupid, cheap, it's such a cheap but yet effective gag. And we find out that there's a wind advisory in effect, which everyone ignores everywhere in the world. And for some reason, they're going to Halo drop in, and he's given the breakdown of what's going to happen and how they're going to bail out the kid because he's being transported to another location, quote unquote, Genosha. I'm just going to keep throwing it out there. And for some reason, all the biggest badasses are in this convoy, not the entire prison.
Yeah, only the most violent ones.
Only the most violent ones. And this kid falls within that. Black Tom is there, and a special little character that we're going to come across in a second. In
Little,
I love that, right? He's a big baby. And they jump out the. All right, let's deploy. Yeah. And they all jump out the. It is so brilliant. They jump out the damn Halo drop. Who bought that anyway? Like who financed the Halo drop? It wasn't Wade. Could have been Wade. He did have like $1 billion under the floorboards. Yeah. He's paying for all these trips around the world. Yeah. Wade's a secret billionaire. In the most comedic way fashion, everyone but Deadpool and Domino die in the most interesting ways. Yeah. So when the advisory happens, the wind kicks up, throws Bedlam face first into a bus. He's done. He's dying, right? He's finished. Shatterstar drifts into a helicopter and gets shredded into a billion pieces with green blood. It's so good. He's an alien. So hyped for that moment. Zeitgeist wipes out in front of like a family van or something like that. Like
what happened? Yeah, what happens is he actually, for whatever weird screwed up reason, he actually ends up into a wood chipper.
Right, he flies into a wood chipper.
And Peter is trying to save him.
And Peter lands perfectly. Yeah. I did it. X-Force, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes to save Zeitgeist.
Right.
Peter goes to save Zeitgeist while Deadpool's watching all of this.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, we're X-Force, dude. We're X-Force. Mm-hmm. And Zeitgeist is like, yeah, man. Wait. And he throws up all over Peter, and it has this wicked, like effect where it eats through Peter's face and chest. It's the grossest thing I've seen since like Evil Dead. It's so graphic.
It was
and I'm
great.
Like, holy shit,
it was
amazing.
Great. It was great.
Best scene of the movie.
And Deadpool's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, for fuck's sake!"
He's like,
I guess that's X-Force. And then the Vanisher flies into some power lines, dies, unvanishes, and it's fucking Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought it was.
It's Brad Pitt.
It's so weird.
It's so nuts, dude. It's like
so incredibly weird.
He looks so goofy. It looked like they photoshopped his face and just threw it onto the screen. And I was like, because I heard rumors that Brad Pitt was going to play Cable. He was on set. Whoop-de-whoop. And he was just the most throwaway character in X-Men history. And of course, Domino lands perfectly. Oh, floats.
Yeah. And
they still have to go through with the mission.
Yeah.
And Baby Driver levels of direction of how Domino's power actually works.
Yeah.
It's on par with the Nightcrawler White House scene where in X2
in X2
where it's like this is how this character power works at maximum effort,
right? And
the opening of that movie is one of my favorite scenes in comic book history. It's so badass. And then you see Domino landing into cars and it's like almost like a Rube Goldberg effect where
sort of
where a guy shoots at her, the bullet jams.
Yeah.
She takes it away from him, slides it on the floor. Some dude steps on the gun, falls back, slides into another car chasing them, and the car swears off. It's the most coolest, one shot of the year.
Yeah.
Even with that, even counting Infinity War, mind you. And we finally get the reveal of who the kid has befriended.
Mm-hmm.
And it ends up being the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
And for those who are not really familiar and only know the Juggernaut from X3 and I'm the Juggernaut bitch goofiness. Juggernaut in the comics is a major problem. Juggernaut's toe to toe with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Problem that it takes teams to beat Juggernaut. Right.
Because he has that gem.
Because he's not technically a mutant.
No, he has that gem. I forget what
it's
called.
It's called the Cryotech
Cryotech or something like that.
Cryotech crystal.
Yeah.
And just to give you a real quick origin story on who Juggernaut is. Juggernaut is the biological brother or half brother of Charles Xavier.
Yep.
Think Charles is more more Manchester, where England, where he's more proper and kind of preppy, whereas
Kane Marco
is more Cockney.
Yeah.
Oi. Get over here, mate. You know, he's this big he's always been jealous of his brother. And they both grew up rich.
Right.
But Kane was always his own guy, and they family loved Charles more. So Kane was going through and I guess doing an archaeological dig, or just happened to be there. He was muscle on a dig. Found this crystal that's possessed by one of the ancient evils of the universe, the Cryotech demon. And it granted him immortality and unstoppable forward momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
And superhuman strength.
Right.
Meaning that once he starts going, it takes a magical being like Doctor Strange to actually stop him in his tracks.
Right.
Or a manipulation of gravity itself to stop him. So Juggernaut has fought cats like The Thing, the Hulk, the Blob, like universal constants in the Marvel universe. And it's taken them down.
Right.
He's fought Venom to stand still. Like he's one of my favorite villains because he's so dumb, but yet he's just so raw power. And we kind of get a glimpse of that a little bit. They always gimp these characters. They gimp the Hulk so bad. Anyway, So Deadpool runs into Juggernaut. He's of course jucking it up. Aren't you a big CG monster? And he calls him that. And of course, Juggernaut's CG because truthfully, that's the only way you can give that character justice. He has to be a big, giant CG. Like, if they ever bring the Thing back, he has to be CG. Yeah. In my opinion. Because the Thing is not tall.
No.
He's like maybe about 7'1", maybe 7 foot tall. Maybe 6'5". Yeah, the Thing is he's a short guy. He's not in the long run of because Colossus is taller than the Thing. He's just a big stocky rock dude. But Juggernaut's like, I'm gonna rip you in half. Yeah. And what does he do? He rips off his torso in the most, and Deadpool's reaching for his entrails like a Mortal Kombat fatality. Yeah. He's like, where are my legs? Where are my legs? And Colossus comes and just gathers him up. And
it was Domino.
Domino comes and gathers him up. Thank you. Yeah. Gathers him up, and the kid, and it's like, hey kid, what do you want to do now? We're a bunch of badasses. Let's get crazy. Man, I want to burn that school down. F that school. Yeah, all right. Juggernaut's just cool with it because he's out now. And so, and someone made a good point. It's like when Deadpool is severely injured, how does not every part of him create another Deadpool?
That's okay.
And there's an answer for that.
Yeah.
It's attached to his brain stem.
Exactly.
If his spinal column, if any part of his brain is kind of taken away, that can then regrow an entire body.
Right.
It's a part of his brain. It's almost like a chunk of his brain. So if any part of that it's like Cell. He's almost like Cell, right? You can pretty much cut him off to his nose, and he'll just slowly grow back.
So actually, I was gonna ask: is that canon at all? Does
it's never been truly?
Does Juggernaut actually do that?
What
to Wade in the comics? Because I don't think so.
Wade has gotten some pretty gnarly injuries. He does it to Wolverine.
That's what I was going to ask you. It was because the Hulk actually.
The Hulk does it to Wolverine too.
The Hulk does it to Wolverine. That's what I thought was a nod to.
Yeah, because the Hulk ripping Wolverine in half.
He in the funniest scene ever in the modern version of
in the Ultimates.
Hulk. Yeah. Wolverine's tracking Hulk down, blah, blah, blah. Hulk confronts Wolverine. Hulk takes Wolverine, rips him in half, and throws his legs into the
infinite. He throws him into the infinite. And it's like, how'd you do that? It's like, well, it's a spine. There's breaks between the bone. There's cartilage. I can rip that in half. So he takes his legs, and they just go into like a cartoon Team Rocket die. Like, your legs are gone. They're over there. And it's so funny. It's so nuts. I love comics so much.
I was laughing like for like an hour just at that whole scene. Like,
I was like, what? And it's the cover of the damn book. It's the cover of the book is Wolverine getting ripped in half by like this weird like Tibetan Hulk. He has like all this tribal shit on. Ultimates was weird and dumb. Oh, it's so stupid. Anyway, Wade goes back home and recuperates, and it's one of the most disturbing scenes I've seen in a superhero movie ever, where everybody's.
I thought it was great. Actually.
I loved it. Don't get me wrong. It had one of the biggest pops in the theater. Yeah. Where Cable finds Wade and it's like, look, I'm willing to team up with you if we handle this kid together, because now you guys unleashed the Juggernaut,
right? And
that was more than I bargained for. And I could have handled you idiots, but that's a whole different problem.
Right.
So let's work together to neutralize the Juggernaut, and I'll give you 30 seconds to reach this kid. And if you don't, I'm going to kill him on the spot. And as he's having this conversation, we find they repeat a joke that they did in Deadpool 1, where his hand, he had a little baby hand.
Yeah.
It feels so big in this hand. But this time it's his whole lower torso, and he has this weird like Winnie the Pooh thing going on where he has baby legs with no underwear on, and TJ Miller's like, so you just gonna freeball it? You just floating out there? You just gonna Winnie the Pooh it up? You gonna shirt cock it, dog?
Yeah.
He's like, don't judge me, man. I'm healing.
I mean, what the hell is he supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do? I don't have pants that fit this. And everybody's watching, right? And while Cable's pleading in his case, he does a basic instinct where he opens his legs and crosses them, and you see everything for a split second, and everyone just lost it. The whole theater went nuts, and I was just like, no, they didn't. They just didn't do that. It was the most disturbing. It was so great. Everybody, the whole theater just blew up. Kids, everybody was laughing. And Cable's like, will you join me? He's like trying so hard to ignore what's happening. And Deadpool gets up. He's like, oh no, he's doing it. Look at him, he's doing it. He's sure cocking it, Doug. He's doing it. And he just walks up and shakes his hand. You see like his little baby legs and all his business. It's just made the movie. That scene made the movie. It's so stupid. It's such a funny movie. It's so dumb. I love it. I love this movie. Oh, so where do we go from here? So we get the understanding of that he explains everything to them because at first they're just like, he's just Cable. He's just some badass. But no, I came from the future. This is why I want to kill this kid. He killed me. He killed my wife and daughter because he's evil reasons. And I only have one more time flip is what they call it in the comics. Right. Okay. Well, I'm thinking about Cable. Why, for the love of I don't know what's gonna, everything, ask. Did he not have a hyper viper beam? Why didn't his gun that could do anything shoot a hyper viper beam? So again, like they sort of allude to it. Why with the levels on the actual gun? One should have just said hyper viper. Again, like at this point, I'm so spoiled by Infinity War. I mean, okay, yeah. Again, like I don't have an official explanation for that, but I can have a rationalization for it. Okay, and the reason why is because I'm sure they figured at this point that if he were to just use that, it's the problem. It's the problem solver. Right. Exactly. And the plot just goes straight to shit. And then also, there's probably more Cable, they were assuming. Right. So why not save it? Right. Right. Because he didn't use any of his cooler stuff. Yeah. He didn't do time flip. He used grenades and kind of cool stuff. Yeah. But I just wanted one Hyper Viper to take out Juggernaut as the final hit. That would have been awesome. Right. Again, that would have changed the entire plot. Yes, and it would have made the movie worse. I know, I'm just spoiled. Yeah. For those who don't know, Hyper Viper Beam is a move that Cable does in one of his only playable video game appearances, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the second best fighting game of all time. Fight me. The first one is Capcom vs. SNK 2, but we're not going to go into that. Let's not do that. Fuck Capcom. Anyway, they devise a plan, and they're like, okay, we need to head out. Which makes me think, how long did it take Deadpool to regenerate his legs? I think they said within a day or a couple of days, right? A couple of days, yeah. So why did the kid and Juggernaut wait to go to the school? I don't think they just huffed it? I mean, you think that kid that Well, I mean, if he had used his unstoppable momentum, he went right past it. Right, because he can't stop. So they had to just huff it, right? Yeah. Because Juggernaut's not fitting in a bus. Right. The guy's like 12 feet tall. Yeah, that's also... Locations are kind of... funky in this movie. They're left kind of vague. Because you still don't really know where you are in the movie location-wise. Because it bounces around. It's like, how far is the icebox from Essex School from the Xavier Institute? Right. Because it all seems like it's down the street. It has a very Batman versus Superman vibe. It's like, did you know that Metropolis is only half a mile away from Gotham City? Shut up. Sorry, I'm not going to get upset about that right now. So 2 days, I'm guessing a day or two to regrow a whole torso. I remember he said like it takes a couple of days. It takes a couple of days for something that drastic to reheal, right? So they go, they intercept Juggernaut and the child before they kill. I'm just going to say Mr. Sinister because I don't know the guy's name. Yeah, that I didn't look at the IMDb, Chris, but I just assumed that that's who it was. It would make sense, right? Yeah. It's too much of a red herring for him not to be somebody. And, and spoilers, the guy survives because he has to. If the kid kills him, then the whole movie's moot, right? Yeah. So they have the big fight scene where it's Deadpool and Cable trying to reach to the kid who's getting a handle on his mutant powers, which makes sense because that's how mutant powers work. The more you use them, the more you're going to get a handle for him, which is why I always hate why they gimped Rogue and never let her really learn how to use her powers correctly until like 2005, where she didn't need her gloves anymore. Shut up, Professor Xavier. I hate talking about X-Men. I always veer off onto stupid plot lines that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Anywho, in Negasonic Teenage Warhead, her girlfriend and Colossus are left to fight the Juggernaut.
Right.
And they take care of them pretty well. I mean,
they hold their own.
They hold their own, and like canonically, Colossus can't really hang with Juggernaut.
Right.
They like remember the cartoon.
So okay, that's true. But one of the things, that's the one problem I do have with this movie.
Yeah,
Colossus, they make him seem a lot weaker than what he actually is. He can't hang toe to toe like on his own with Juggernaut.
Yeah,
but he was getting worked like really bad, like worse than he's ever been in any other setting.
No, Homegirl worked him harder in the first Deadpool than he got worked by. Well, Juggernaut was throwing him around like a rag doll,
right?
And like in the pantheon of Marvel strongies, he's top 10.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's not top 5,
right?
Because you have cats like Thor and Silver Surfer floating around.
Of course, yeah.
But in the realm of X-Men, he's the strong man.
Right.
But the problem with Juggernaut is he doesn't play by mutant rules.
Oh, exactly. Right.
And it makes him a completely different avenue of villain.
Yeah.
He's low upper tier. So like you said, and the thing is that movies nerf the strong men all the time. Hulk has been nerfed so bad, especially if you saw Infinity War, which we were going to talk about, funny enough. And I kind of wanted your opinion on that as a sidebar.
I mean, whatever.
Hulk, man. Like, the guy can lift mountains and shit, but they nerfed him so hard in these MCU movies.
Whatever.
Anyway, but Colossus, he should have not. He should have not won head toe to toe with Juggernaut. I get it, but like you said, he was getting worked. Like not even a problem. Like breaking limbs and punching out metal teeth.
Yeah,
and like, how does that work? Does he just go human, let the teeth grow back, and then metal back up?
I don't know. I saw that and I was like,
thinking about mutant powers. It's funny. I was just doing a podcast and I was telling my co-host Winter. I was like, the more I think about Iceman, like what he really can do, is like, why isn't he some kind of god of like a planet somewhere? You can't think about Iceman powers because Iceman, he could turn into vapor and reconstitute physical limbs and like intestines and shit. Like he's a consciousness that just floats and it's governed by the moisture and air.
Right. So
if it's moist, if there's water anywhere,
on
any level, Iceman will live and survive. He can make clones of himself.
Right.
Yes, he can change he can cause an ice age if he wanted. I hate Iceman. I love him so much, but it's like it makes your head hurt thinking about that character too much.
Right.
Anywho, see, this is why I don't like talking about X-Men. I always drift off. But we're reaching the climax of the film, and they take care. And Negasonic Teenage Warhead is kind of the problem solver in these movies because she's kind of OP in these movies because she's just I explode and whatever's in front of me is getting wiped out, pretty much.
Yeah. So
they beat the shit out of Juggernaut and they incapacitate him. He doesn't look like he has the forward momentum ability. In these films, he's just a big brute. They don't utilize it, so they take him down between Yuriko, I think that was her name.
Yukio.
Yeah. Hi, Yukio. Negasonic and Colossus, they get the job done. It should be damn near impossible. But anyway, we get to the scene where Wade is in a final standoff between Fire Fist and Cable, and Wade is like, I got it. I'm going to learn this kid's trust. I'm going to earn his trust. So he puts on a mutant inhibitor. I don't know where he got that shit from.
Yeah, I still, I mean, I get that. I get. Oh, no. Okay, no. I know where they got it from. When some of the orderlies were coming, a few.
They were trying to use them, right?
Yeah. And then they were all killed.
They were all killed.
Easily, but.
Domino was in the scene too, but she was also doing some other random.
Right. She was trying to.
She was trying to like save the children or something.
Yeah.
And Wade puts on the power inhibitor and says, if you want to kill me, you can kill me right now. As if this keeps you from fulfilling your evil destiny.
Right.
And he decides to do it anyway. And and Cable just shoots him with one of his super pew pew guns. And Wade, of course, jumps in front of the bullet and has the longest death rattle To the point where I thought he was just messing with them.
Yeah.
But no, he was dying.
Yeah.
How long did that last? Too
that
long,
lasted
right?
about 10 minutes almost.
It was a 10-minute death
it was
scene.
like, dude, fucking die.
Die.
It
It was a little longer than it needed to be.
yeah.
And of course he goes.
It got silly.
He got super silly. And we find out that Cable uses his final time flip
right
to go and save Deadpool's life. There was a plot device, and I'm using that a lot because they use it. They use it a lot. That's a bad plot device. Yeah. A Chuck E. Cheese coin or something that Vanessa gave him.
Right.
Deadpool took off of him. I mean, I'm sorry, Cable
took it. Yeah.
And he put it back exactly where the bullet was go, which
right.
is nuts. How did he see that? I guess with his Giants Omega level eye, and save Deadpool's life.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what are you going to do now? It's like, I could stay in this time for a little while. My family's fine. The bear got better. I got better. Yeah. I'm not dead. He heard his daughter from the future. I'm not dead. I feel happy. That's like for 3 people. So he's like, we can stick around. I'll be part of X-Force for a while. Yeah. So X-Force now consists of Dopinder, Negasonic, I guess, Colossus?
Yeah.
Cable, Deadpool, Domino.
Yeah. And
this is X-Force as it sits now.
Right, exactly.
And
it's Fox's version of X-Force.
It's Fox's version of X-Force.
Which I don't mind.
Because they couldn't get any of the other heavy hitters like Archangel.
Right. And then he keeps asking Psylocke. About him. He actually keeps asking about him.
Yeah.
Deadpool is constantly asking, hey, where's the dude with the metal wings?
Where's the dude with the metal wings? Like, shouldn't he be around here somewhere? Warpath.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All the Blades people.
Yeah.
And for those who... X-Force went through different changes in the comics where X-Force was just another offshoot of the X-Men, kind of like X-Factor.
Yeah.
But then it had this cool retcon, like during the 2000s, where the X-Force became the Wetwork team, where Cyclops was like, "We're X-Men. We have to be we have to be in front of the camera. We're the good guys. We save the day. But if we need something dirty to happen,
right.
Wolverine, I need you to take the X-Force, which is all the people who don't mind getting their fingers dirty,
right?
Like a Warren Worthington, like a Psylocke, or a Deadpool for that matter.
Basically, assassins.
Cable. They're the assassins of the X-Men.
Yeah.
They're the secret assassin crew that has to do the nasty stuff that can't be on the screen.
Right.
They're the covert team. And if by the luck of the mouse this goes forward, I would like that. I would like a weird rated R Mission Impossible kind of X-Force movie where there's blood and explosions and cameos, and you can see them really dig in and go on covert missions and stuff like that. I think that would be dope.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Cool. So that's where the movie ends. This is the ending. Deadpool's found his family, quote unquote, and he's happy. He's kind of reserved in the death of his girl, knowing that one day they'll be reunited. And it's all very wholesome and all very Deadpool-y, because like the first one was a morality tale about finding love and finding someone who accepts you as you are. All these movies have this weird undercut of family film on top of blood, sex, and violence. And then we have the stingers.
Yeah.
And is there only one that's a really long one, or there's two?
There's 2, actually.
Yes.
No, there's 3. So technically,
but they're bunched together.
Yeah, and it's actually the best thing. That's one of the best. I would say is the best part of the movie.
It's the best part of the movie
because it's Fox thumbing their nose at their own
at themselves
at themselves and saying, even though it doesn't matter. Because like, I mean, it's just for fun, basically. Okay. And to realize that they fucked up. Like with
how do you want to do this? I'll do the first one.
Okay.
You do the second one.
Yeah.
I'll do the third one.
Okay.
So the first stinger is Negasonic and her girlfriend tinkering with the time machine.
Yeah.
Somehow these 2 idiots figured out how to get it working again. A super high-tech ultra machine that rivals anything on the world. And Deadpool's like, I'm going to use this for a while. And like what? And Yoniko's like, oh, it'll be fine. And like Negasonic's like, what have we done? Right?
No, it's the other way around. Yukio was the one who said, she was like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea to give it to him.
And Negasonic was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Cable's going to kill him, but who cares? So what is? And it's a thing because that's a power that Deadpool has.
Right.
He can teleport.
Yeah.
So he's like, and it's a form of time travel.
Right. Exactly.
So I'm happy they forwarded that.
Yeah.
Finally into his power set.
Right.
Because it's not a mutant power. It's a technical doodad that he gets from Cable.
Right.
It's canon.
Right.
Which makes it doubly cool.
Yeah.
So what's the first thing Deadpool does? Is he goes back in time.
He goes back in time to stop
Vanessa's death.
Yeah, yeah. He uses the cream cheese spreader and he
Kills the guy
Yeah,
because he knows the shot's coming.
right.
So the whole movie's moot at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah,
Vanessa's alive.
Yeah.
So that's already stupid, right? Which I find hilarious.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so, what the fuck was this about? I love it. Okay, what happened next after that?
So then after that, then
He goes back.
He goes back and for whatever reason. So it's twofold. So they cross universes.
No,
basically.
not yet. He goes back again and he saves Peter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he saves. Okay, that's right. He saves Peter,
But no one else.
Well, okay, that's debated though.
They're saying
because they were saying that he saved him.
Yeah.
But everything else also happened off screen, so you don't know what else he did.
Right. So you think? Well, you think he went back and saved all the other?
Possibly.
Possibly.
I mean,
if they want it to be that way, it can be that way.
Right. I mean,
Right.
because it's kind of left open ended.
And you want that Shatterstar money,
Yeah.
so they left that open. So
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't want to skip that.
No. That's I actually forgot about that. But so yeah, then on the third stinger, which is the best part to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Deadpool goes back to X-Men Origins Wolverine, and I love it, but it's also stupid as hell for many reasons.
It's so fucking stupid
It's because-
it causes so many problems with the
Yeah,
timeline.
that's the whole point of that was his whole point, trying to fix the timeline. He even says that.
Yeah, I'm fixing the timeline.
Yeah, I'm fixing the timeline, but
Sorry, Logan,
but he
don't
just
scratch me.
But okay, so basically, he goes back to X-Men Origins Wolverine, where Wolverine is at the he's going to face off with that Deadpool.
With Deadpool.
Yeah,
with the Deadpool,
Yeah.
Weapon 11.
Right, Weapon 11, exactly. And it's the official scene.
Yep.
But then so you see Deadpool with his mouth, sewn up,
Open with the stupid katana hands,
and the one that everyone hated, right? So
Yeah.
Deadpool jumps in and he shoots himself, who's not really himself because it's a different movie altogether.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Wolverine, don't mind
scratch
me,
man. Don't mind me.
I'm just
Please
cleaning.
don't hurt me.
I'm just cleaning up the timeline." He shoots some
he
more
just
extra
fucking shots
but
into Weapon 11.
Yeah, and he's like, "Okay, bye." But then what's really dumb for multiple reasons is, for one, Deadpool can't die like that. And even and actually, the thing is, the reason why they're also stupid as hell is because in that movie, in the very, very last end credits for Wolverine,
he comes back.
Yeah,
but then with that stupid movie, there was 3 different ones that
Right.
aired in different theaters.
Right.
So my canon thinking about it, because I had to think about this, was he used adamantium bullets. That's the only thing that could have really put that Deadpool down, incapacitated him to the point where he was just meat. Right. That's the only explanation, right? Because he only factored just like Wolverine. It was not as good as this Deadpool's.
Remember, Wolverine got... This is why I hate that movie.
Fucking
Wolverine was shot in the head with an adamantium bullet, and he just lost his memory. That's how they explain that he lost his memory.
Yes. But
but
he got shot once. Deadpool was he pumped a clip into this thing's head with quote unquote adamantium bullets.
We don't know.
We don't know.
But anyway,
Anyway,
none of that matters.
It's super stupid.
None of that matters because that was erased by all of that shit was erased by Days of Future Past anyway.
So what happened in that scene? Did he cross dimension?
He crossed dimensions just to do it.
He went to Earth 95
yeah,
just to be an asshole. And the hugest pop, because the way that opens is you just see Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, what?
And
you're like, this is just the scene from X-Men Origins.
Exactly.
It's not him dressed like Wolverine. I'm like, they're so stupid.
Yeah. It's just totally meta. It's meta in the sense that Ryan Reynolds also knows how shitty his own character was.
Speaking of which, It's the most meta thing I've seen in a movie since what? Like Pope? What? Like you can't get more meta than this.
Yeah.
So you show up to a house,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a nice house and it's well lit, and it's Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah.
the man,
Yeah.
reading the script for Green Lantern.
Yes.
And he's reading it. He's like, "This is going to be good." He's smiling at himself. I'm sure of this. And you see a bullet just pass through his brain and splatter on the Green Lantern script. And what does Deadpool say? He says, "Dodge a bullet there," or something like that.
He's like, "You're welcome, Canada."
You're welcome. You're welcome, Canada. The most. I died. I was arms
celebrating.
crossed. I was like just in my seat, done. Like, this is nuts, dude.
Oh,
Green Lantern never happened. What's funny about that is that was supposed to be the first movie for the DCEU.
Yeah.
And it got retconned out.
Yeah.
So
now it's official. It's told super official.
he retconned Green Lantern for Warner Brothers in the timeline.
Whew, I was
Isn't that nuts?
I was hooping and hollering at that.
I was screaming. I was
hilarious.
like, "This is the best." I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. This is the best. You can't get more fifth wall than that.
Yeah.
In a movie that cost money.
Right.
It cost money to film that. And I knew it was Ryan's idea.
Yeah.
Ryan's like, "We're going to shoot myself in the face. And it's going to be on the Green Lantern script." And did you hear that DC kind of poked at him a little bit with on Twitter? Like DC.
No, I didn't.
Warner Brothers was like, "So Ryan, we're gonna need that Green Lantern ring back. You know the one we gave you for filming." And he's like, "Man, that." And Ryan Reynolds replied back like, "You don't want that back. That thing's been places that you don't really don't want to.
Oh God,
you really don't want to put on your hands anymore." And they just yucked it up. It was like a big yuck up, and everybody, of course, took it overly serious. But it was just Warner Brothers poking fun at him for him giving a sharp jab to them.
Right.
But
they should be happy.
They
as
should
hell.
be happy
like,
that movie is still getting any kind of publicity.
Yeah.
Because people, I'm telling you, probably DVD sales and probably rentals of Green Lantern probably went up because of Deadpool 2. So thank you, Warner Brothers. And
I've actually never even seen that movie, so.
You're a good man. I saw it, and what the fuck is the problem with clouds? Why does every big monster have to be a cloud? Hack directors is this omnipotent, and I can hear him in the marketing room. Think about it, synergy. It's a giant cloud. It's ethereal. It's so big that it doesn't have form. Like Dormammu is a giant cloud.
Yeah.
Synergy. You see, Dormammu is the universe, right? So we don't have to hire an actor. Shut up. Stop making cloud monsters.
You still gotta hire an actor anyway.
Right? Because you have to voice the damn thing. So just let the dude be the dude. I want a big, green, stupid Galactus. I want a big dude that's the size of 5 planets floating out in space like the maid from Spaceballs. I want that.
Man.
I want Dormammu to be a guy with a flaming skull head that's not Ghost Rider.
Right.
Give the comic fans what they want. I'm not going to go on a tirade. That's Deadpool 2. What are your final thoughts on this film?
Oh man.
Where does it leave you?
It's well, I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna go out with a bang,
Mm-hmm.
like because then this movie's made them too much damn money.
Yeah.
So like they're not gonna and plus
it has to have a future, right?
Yeah. And so like I think going forward, it probably. So these are my theories actually. So there probably will be a Deadpool 3, but it would be more
capacity.
Yes, I'm saying it would, but now you have to expand upon X-Force.
No.
So if there's not a Deadpool 3, which
at least it'll be an X-Force.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've had enough of
Deadpool
of Wade's path, right?
Right.
And now that we're having this conversation, it makes me think about, let's say everything goes great and Disney acquires Fox.
Mm-hmm.
In an ample time. How do you handle X-Men? How do you handle Fantastic Four, right?
That's a whole other bear.
That's a whole other bear to bite.
They need to see this, and that's the problem. They have to take their sweet time with that.
They have to take so much time with it. Like, people are hoping for X-Men cameos in 4. We're not going to see any of that shit in Avengers 4. If they're smart, they'll give the slightest hint of a whiff at the 4.
Right.
We're not seeing X-Men anytime soon.
Exactly.
But I kind of hope, because Disney is the type where if you're making money for us, we're not going to, pardon my French, we're not going to fuck with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. Like,
make X-Men films through Miramax.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it under the MCU.
Right.
Make it under Miramax. Let it be its own contained thing.
Right.
But have your team ups when you want to. Have your cameos. But keep X-Men always performed comically by themselves better anyway.
Right.
Right? Like Beast is an Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like May Parker is an X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
She was born a mutant technically. Right. So they marry in different ways, but it's never been ham-fisted. So keep Deadpool rated R, which Disney's going to have a huge problem dealing with that. Because Kevin Feige's even said that's something we'll just kind of figure out. Because they don't do R, right? Because it's not marketable.
Right. So
it's bittersweet, this movie, because I think this is the last we're going to see of it in this pure, uncut, form.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Disney's going to homogenize it and make it cookie cutter. Mm-hmm. I hope not, because they're very good at masking that. Yeah. Even though it's all a formula, like from Black Panther to Doctor Strange, they feel very different, but it's the same shit. It's the same hero beats. It just makes me worrisome about something I want so bad. Right. But what am I getting? In a movie like this, it's a gem because you can still have full frontal. You can still have crazy sexual innuendo and yet be a blockbuster. How do you fight that money? And I hope Disney or Comcast, wherever. Well, how it would work, and just a PSA before we close out this episode. This is how this works to calm people down. And this is what's happening. Disney was going to buy Fox. Comcast put in a bid to outbid Disney to buy Fox. People are thinking, well, then the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to go to Comcast. Because if they buy Fox, then they own it. Not
necessarily, no.
How that works is that because what happens to Fox is that it dissolves. It no longer exists. And it becomes Comcast. So any deals that have the name 21st Century Fox under that umbrella dissipates with that company. So what happens is that if Comcast buys Fox, the rights will eventually dissolve back to Marvel. Right. Eventually. No matter what happens, they're going back to Marvel. Exactly. The only problem is that the time frame in which we're going to get these characters will be drastically lowered. Will be drastically slower than if the mouse was just to buy Fox right out. So we're going to get these characters eventually, but it may not be for another 5 years. It may not be, God forbid, for another 10 years, depending on how all this shakes. That you'll see X-Men and that you'll see Wolverine finally fight the Hulk. Right. What we want, right? Or the Fantastic Four, or have Doctor Doom fight the MCU. Right. You know what I'm saying? So just to put everybody at ease, they're coming home. It's just, are they taking the bus or are they taking a flight? And think about it that way.
And just to wrap this all up, none of this shit would be happening if Marvel never started selling off their stuff.
And that's a I would love to do a podcast introspectives about the rise, the fall, and the rise of Marvel Comics. I mean, because Marvel in the 90s is fascinating stuff, dude. The selling off of the characters, the piecemeal, the bankruptcy.
I mean, they selling off X-Men, fine, but they fucking sold Spider-Man off.
They sold everyone off.
I was just like,
anyone that was making money back then in the 90s who were big, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four weren't so big, but they sold them off. Blade, they sold off. Namor, everyone but Captain America and Iron Man because they weren't making money.
But guess what? Marvel is never getting Spider-Man back.
Never.
They're never getting them back, and every day,
never fully.
I'm sure they're kicking themselves in their ass.
Here's the thing. So I don't want to drag this on any longer, but I have to put this out there. Sony are a bunch of asshats outside of their gaming division. Yeah. Everyone knows this. Yep. Earlier this year, there was whispers of Sony selling their film division because it's so bad. But someone's going to swoop that up. Disney can't own Sony and Fox at the same time. Then that truly becomes a monopoly. Yeah. And that's why these things take so long because the government has to say, you know, this isn't legally fair for you to own this much of the market. So, like you said, my grandkids may see a fully owned Spider-Man, but we're not going to see it anytime.
Yeah.
And just really quick, I love the movie. I think it's bittersweet because of the circumstances around it. As you heard, I have my issues with it, but those are nitpicks, honestly. Why isn't it called Genosha? Bastards. But overall, if I had to rank this movie on a 0 to 5 scale, in my heart of hearts, I would give it maybe a 4. I would give Deadpool a 4.5. Mm-hmm. I would give this a 4.
Okay.
What would you give this movie on a scale from 0 to 5?
I'd give it I would give it higher than that, honestly. Only because I can overlook something. Even though they're stupid, even though they're dumb as hell, I can overlook them because of the quality of the movie.
The kid really bothered me.
Yeah. Certain
cheap ways out of certain characters really bothered me.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's knocking it down the whole point. Otherwise, the comedy and the source, the things they got right were super right.
Yeah.
Colossus was
But then weirdly, the stuff they got wrong was really wrong. Yeah.
So that's where it bothers me.
I give it a 4.7.
That's,
and only, again, you know, if I were to really take it a little more seriously, which I can't with this movie anyway. Then I would actually give it lower than what you gave it. But yeah.
Going into it with the expectations that I had, I'd give it a 4.0. Can't give it anything higher because that kid just irked me so damn much. And like you said, the stinkers really stunk, but the hitters really hit.
Yeah.
Now, as I always ask you, I'm starting to always ask you, Darren, if you were to make a Deadpool-themed beer, what flavors and what would it be as composition?
It'd be a chimichanga beer.
Gross as shit. You know what? It makes perfect sense. It'll just be a Corona with a blender of chimichanga. You just put that shit in a blender and a full cigar, and just drink that shit and have fun.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
That one's easy.
That's the canon answer,
and no one will buy it.
No one will buy it, but us, because I just want it on my shelf somewhere.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be a collectible.
It'll be a collectible. Ryan would drink it.
Yeah,
Ryan would drink the shit out of it. Where can we find you, Darren?
You can find me on Facebook at Beer Business Bureau. You can find me on Twitter at BeerB Bureau. And you can find me on Instagram, Beer Business Bureau.
Find this man. He will feed you like horchata-flavored beers.
Maybe not that, but yes.
Maybe not that, but yes. And if you like the show, you like our reviews, and you want to give us any review suggestions, past, present, future, doesn't matter. We review everything. We review nothing but trouble, for Lord's sake. You can definitely send that to mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. That is mastersofthenerdiversecast@gmail.com. And as always, I would like to ask you to check out our website, mastersofthenerdiversecast.com. There you can actually listen to old episodes, such as the very first ones, where I'm literally losing my mind, just talking to myself into the darkness. And you get to hear that madness for the first 10, 15 episodes. It's beautiful. You can also visit our Patreon if you want to toss us some ducats, help with the production of the show so I can get better microphones and sound more professional and eventually start MOTN Plays, which is something I've been talking about all year. Where we stream on Twitch. You can ball with me and we can play some Monster Hunter. Yeah. Or play some Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and I'll pick Deadpool. This is a hyper combo. Anyway, you can always find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and one day, in a shining, beautiful future, Spotify. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And I will always ask you to look towards the skies.
Just be mindful of the wind advisory, though.
Mind those wind advisories while you're looking towards the skies, because you may be blown by the skis.
You may end up in a wood chipper.
Oh, man. X-Force. X-Force.
Shout, do it, never do it. Can I